Well, all right. 14 quarterbacks played in the postseason so far. There's still a little bit of time left. There's still 3 games left. Yes, only 3 games left. But I still thought it could be fun to go through every single quarterback that played and just rank them 1 through 14. Yes, there's a couple quarterbacks that came in relief. I'm obviously not going to be ranking them. Just the 14 starting quarterbacks from worst to best. You know how rankings work. Let's just get into it. Number 14, it is Tua. You're going to see 2 numbers next to each of these guys' names. The first of which is going to be their PFF grade and where they ranked in PFF grade among the 14 eligible players. And then the second one is passer rating, and you see Tua is last in both. Now, again, there's the obvious asterisk. It was very cold. Tough weather. He did not have the exact same situation that some of these other guys did, so I'm sure, that's the biggest factor. I'm not saying that he was, I'm not saying like I think Tua stinks or anything like that. It's just a simple evaluation of one game that wasn't great in a bad circumstance, so he is number 14 on the list. 13, I did go with Dak here, who is 12th in PFF grade, 10th in the overall passer rating, but I think those numbers are actually a little inflated due to the fact that he had a kind of an easy fourth quarter playing against backups, legitimately playing against backups. He put himself in way too big of a hole early on that he couldn't really crawl out of it, and even with those playing against backups for a quarter, he still has one of the worst statistics out of all the players, so that's not great either. I mean, it was a bad performance. It was. He made so many mistakes early on. He even tried to throw a pick that got dropped. He had, again, the first half was pretty terrible. He did, I think, play fine in the second half, but it wasn't good enough to make up for the errors. So yeah, he is 13 here. Number 12, it's Mason Rudolph, which, in fairness, I don't know. If you're a Steelers fan, might have been a couple spots higher than you were expecting going into this, right? I mean, listen, it's Mason Rudolph. He played like Mason Rudolph. It is what it is. Obviously, the Steelers need a quarterback, but, it's fine. It's not, again, what we were expecting from him, I suppose. So, yeah, 12 feels fair for me. Number 11 is Flaco, who had some moments. Again, early on in that game, it was actually is Flaco going to do this elite Joe Flacco thing in the playoffs once again? Did not happen. Obviously, the back-to-back pick sixes hurt. After the couple touchdown drives, really got nothing else going the rest of the game. So, it's a bummer. It was a fun story, but yeah, Flaco, again, it's weird because we're evaluating one game with some of these guys, but not the greatest of games. Number 10, I am going Brock Purdy, the lowest out of any of the quarterbacks that are still on the list. In fact, I believe he's the only quarterback that didn't make the top, to not make the top 5 that is, here. So as an only quarterback in the conference championship that didn't make the top 5. He is at 10. But again, I like Brock Purdy. I think he had a relatively rough game. I mean, you look at the, again, 13th graded PFF wise and 11th passer rating wise. There was some bad weather. I thought he missed a lot of throws and also put the ball in harm's way and got a little lucky with some drops here. And he's in the weird situation where he had a bye week, so he didn't get to play a wild card round where he could sort of boost some of the stats. Because we can talk about some other guys in a second who maybe got an easier matchup, and because of that, maybe they had one good game and one bad game, something like that. But again, he got it done at the end. That was impressive. I'm not a Purdy hater or anything. I think that was one of his worst games this season, but you survived it, and I think he'll be better. I'm not expecting that to happen again. That's just how I view it. But as of right now, yeah, he was the 10th best quarterback in the sample size that he's had, which I'm assuming will be better. Got to make sure I clarify all of it so 49ers fans don't get mad at me. Number 9, I'm going with Jalen Hurts, who's a weird guy to evaluate. So again, 8th highest PFF grade, 8th best passer rating. I don't think he played poorly against Tampa Bay. He didn't have guys open all game. There was constant pressure. At the end of the day, if a team is blitzing you every time and you don't really have guys get open, Smith was getting open some, but that was it. What are you supposed to do as a quarterback? He still made some plays. He still made some mistakes. So I think he kind of had an underwhelming performance by his standards, but I also don't know what you're going to do. Who would have done good in that situation? I don't know if many players would have. So he's at 9 here. Number 8 is CJ Stroud. Him and Jordan Love are kind of, spoiler alert, Jordan Love is next on the list, but they're both kind of, interchangeable, I suppose, because both kind of had similar things, right? CJ Stroud was great. week one. Despite the PFF controversy, Stroud is graded 9th overall, although 4th highest passer rating. Again, I don't really put the Baltimore loss on him at all. Like, yes, he only scored, the offense only scored 3 points. It wasn't great, but there wasn't a lot of possessions in that game, and no one was getting open. Again, similar to the Jalen Hurts thing. What are you supposed to do? The fact that Stroud did have a great game earlier, though, I am willing to put him all the way up here at number 8. And 7 is Jordan Love, who, again, you could kind of argue him or Stroud. I think that could be a debate that happens in the comment section. I don't know. I decided to go with Love a little bit, higher. Does have a little bit worse passer rating, but does have a bit higher PFF grade. But again, I watch all the games. That's how I make my evaluation. And I think that Love definitely made some mistakes, especially in the, in that 49ers game. Kind of really, I thought Love was great for 7 quarters and then had that fourth quarter where he kind of fell apart. So I think Love was a little better against San Francisco than Stroud was against Baltimore, although, again, completely different situations. So because of that, I decided to give Love a little bit more love here because they both were great wildcard weekend. And again, there was the whole PFF controversy of, them grading Love significantly higher than Stroud in the wildcard weekend. I kind of agree. I think Love was better in wildcard weekend. I don't know how much, whatever. I think Love was slightly better than Stroud, but I think they're both cool. That's how I view it. Number 6 is Baker Mayfield, who I thought really did a lot of nice stuff this postseason. Especially the Philadelphia game, he was really good there. Did try to throw an interception, but other than that, was very good. And even against Detroit, he had the 1 interception late, but that was really the only pass that was a dangerous pass. He had a couple of missed throws as well, but also made a lot of really good plays that got Tampa Bay back into that game when it ended up being more of an offensive showdown. He was able to do enough to at least put together 2 solid performances and, wasn't quite able to get it done at the end, which is why I can't really put him in the top 5 because of that late interception. But Mayfield had a really good postseason. I think there's little denying that, I would say. Some people might still deny it because, again, the first interception was a good pass that was dropped and then tipped for an interception. What are you going to do there? Definitely Mayfield was a bright spot in Tampa Bay's entire season, so he's here at number 6. Number 5, I'm going with Jared Goff, who's interesting. So Jared Goff, worse PFF grade than Baker. So if anyone says I'm being biased about putting Baker so high, even though I'm a Tampa Bay fan, well, I could have justified putting him higher there if I wanted to, but I didn't think that was fair because I do think that Goff has done a really good job this season or this postseason of putting the ball in the right place. I do think he's done a very good job of it. I think Goff has been very impressive as a postseason quarterback, and if he can continue this, again, they got their work cut out for them in San Francisco, but I don't think it's out of the question they can pull off that upset. I've been very impressed with Jared Goff. This is easily a banner year for him, in my opinion. Number 4, I am going Josh Allen, who, actually, I thought he was amazing against the Chiefs. People were mad at him. What more does the guy got to do? I feel like people just look at passer rating because he was only 7th overall in passer rating. I thought he made some mistakes against in both games, to be honest. I thought he made some mistakes in both games, which is why I can't put him in the top 3. But did I think he was really exceptional? Yeah, and I thought he was especially great in the divisional round. Now, again, he wasn't better than Mahomes, who still hasn't been mentioned, but he was very good. I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he did. I think the Bills need to make changes. That's what I think. Number 3, give me Matthew Stafford, the playoff guy here at this point. Obviously had that great run. I thought he was fantastic against the Lions. He made so many tough throws, so many 3rd and longs, these difficult plays. Again, I feel like sometimes you hear weird arguments where someone says, oh, well, it was just the Lions defense. I always kind of want to say, it's like, I don't care what defense you're going up against. I care what was the difficulty of play? What was the coverages? How open were the guys he was throwing to? He was throwing guys open. He was doing these sidearm passes. Stafford in the playoffs is awesome. It sucks we only got 1 playoff game this year with him, but I'm expecting more, to be honest, upcoming. As in, I'm expecting more in future years. I'm not expecting him to, win his way back into the NFL playoffs. You know what I mean? Number 2, I am going with Lamar in this scenario. Only has played the 1 game. And again, I don't hold that against anyone. If you played 1 game or 2 games, I kind of just, if you played 2 games, I combine how those 2 games went. If you played 1 game, well, then that's how I view it. And he was a little bit slow in the first game, which is the only reason why he's number 2 and not number 1. 4th highest graded PFF grade, and this is including rushing, not just passing. Highest passer rating, though, in the playoffs. And again, well, yes, he started off a little slow. What he was able to do in that second half, the Texans really just had no chance. I thought he was fantastic, and I do think he has been the second best quarterback in the playoffs thus far, just in one game. But he's going to be going up against the guy who I think has been the best so far. That's right. It is Patrick Mahomes, who only has the 9th highest passer rating out of the eligible quarterbacks, but is highest in PFF grade, and I agree. I thought he was unbelievable against the Buffalo Bills. Some of these throws he was making were just absurd, and some of the reads he was making was just absurd. And I still thought he played well against Miami. I thought he had a good game there as well. It was kind of a weird game, and again, he's missed a couple throws each game for sure, but like that's really the only nitpick I have against him. Mahomes is showing he's the best quarterback on the planet, but he might be playing the second best quarterback on the planet, Lamar, upcoming Sunday, and I think the Ravens have more talent around them, which is why that should be an interesting game. But yeah, those are my rankings. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.